Talk to Him, a show where we discuss self-help strategies, music, fashion, education, health, food, relationships, and how it all links to financial success. Be sure to follow us on Instagram at Talk2MJ, and of course on all social media platforms at Talk2MJ, and of course on Instagram as well at Shop Talk to Him. And of course, I'm your host. My name is James Levesque. Talk to him. Vibe with me. All right. Yo, we got an incredible guest in the studio with us today. We got my main man, 100 Grand, my man B. B, appreciate you for pulling up.
Appreciate the invite.
Yo, you already know, man. Yo, B's an educator, you know what I mean? Former basketball standout, been doing his thing in the community. Just the overall good black man. And when I wanted to do this show, right, I wanted to just talk about, you know, with Father's Day coming around, you know, I just wanted to talk about like just fatherhood, you know what I mean, and what it is to be a dad, and what it is to be a dad, you know what I mean. So with that, you know, there's a lot of just things that men go through, you know what I'm saying, that we often don't really talk about, you know what I mean. So, you know, in my thoughts, I was just like, man, how can, you know, I wanted to drop something on just fatherhood, you know what I mean, and what it means to be a dad and how it is, what we go through as men, you know. And so yeah, yo, why not call my main man 100 Grand, my man B, and we just, you know, talk our talk. So B, let me ask you this. How has fatherhood been for you, bro? Because you're a dad now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. How has that been? Seeing you know, we was talking off air about the development of, you know, your son, you know what I mean? The stuff that he's doing, and you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, you know, your children are definitely a reflection of who you are.
Yeah.
You know, my son has a lot of energy. When I was his age,
Yeah.
you know, I had a lot of energy as well.
Yeah.
So, you know, oftentimes I find myself, you know, when I get upset with him, I have to remind myself that I was the same way when I was his age. You
That's
know what
true,
I mean?
bro. That's true. That's a hard concept, man, to test your patience a lot, bro.
And just let him be a boy, and you know, just you know, remind my wife that you know he's doing what he's supposed to be doing. He's not, you know, and it's normal, and you know he'll grow out of it naturally.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yo, when I ask you that question, because I ask myself that question, like, yo, how has fatherhood been for you, Jay? You know what I mean? And for me, because I'm a dad, I have two, you know, young ones, beautiful. Shout out to Jay, shout out to Zara, you know what I mean? And yo, I don't know, man. Fatherhood to me, it's been cool, you know, but sometimes it gets a little bit of a headachy. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? It gets a little bit of a headachy, man. But, you know, I understand, like, in my situation, you know, like, I gotta kind of be around because I'm not around because they don't live with me. They live with their moms, you know what I mean? So it's like I got to make sure that I'm around, I spend time with them, and it's really about the quality of time that we spend together instead of the quantity of time, you know what I mean? So like we were talking about Jay coming out here during the summertime, you know, activities we got planned, all these things, and you was telling me, you know, the just developing your son and just, you know, like basketball wise, or not basketball wise, but just agility wise. You know what I'm saying? Like, how's that been, bro? Like, how do you see yourself in young B?
I see myself in him all the time. You know, I started training him, you know, just doing different agility drills and things like that.
Yeah.
Not really steering him in any one direction, you know, and just keeping it fun.
Yeah.
You know, just checking in with him, you know, after we work out or do our agility drills and say, hey, what was your favorite one? And then he'll ask me, you know, when are we doing it again? So I'm like, oh, all right, cool. So as long as he's into it, you know, I'm game. I'm not, you know, one of them I'm not going to pressure him, to play basketball just
Yeah.
because I played basketball.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it's definitely in the back of my mind.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
to give him an advantage, in that area. But more importantly, in other areas as well. Sports is just just one
It's a
aspect
tool.
of
It's a tool.
it's a tool, in the society that, can open doors and things like that.
Yeah.
People look at, people put athletes, on a pedestal,
Yeah.
and doors open for you that might not have necessarily opened for you if you didn't play, a sport. That's true for me, and I'm sure that's true for you as well.
For real.
So,
Yo, speaking of that, right? What's your take on like Zion, bro? Like, yo, this dude, yo, and if you're unfamiliar, Zion Williams of the Pelicans, New Orleans Pelicans, he was, basically, he became a dad, which is a great thing. But then also, while he became a dad, other girls started coming out, you know what I mean? And was just putting his whole business out there, man. You know what I mean? And I was just like, damn. And here's the thing, right? A lot of time people is coming down on Zion, right? But, he's a kid, bro. He's 22
years old.
22 years old, bro. Like, imagine the stuff we was doing was at 22.
Yeah.
Right? And you got money. You got, like, the world on your fingertips, bro. What? Like,
Right.
That's a blessing in disguise, but also, like, it could be detrimental,
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely due to his lack of experience. I don't know if he has any OGs around him that, maybe in the league or not in the league, that say that, this is how you maneuver, as a young black man with money.
That's true.
The ladies are gonna, be around, and just how to maneuver that environment responsibly, because you're the bag, and
For real.
and everybody's trying to come up.
That's crazy, bro. Like,
Yeah.
like, and here's the thing too, right? Like, this is the thing that these, these athletes got them like right on their fingertips. You just got to go on the gram and just shoot their shot. You know what I mean? And it's like, okay, cool. Like, this dude was spending like almost 100,000. But okay, to us, 100,000 is a lot. But if you got millions coming in, it's really like, it's a couple dollars. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, I mean, I've never lived that life, but I'm pretty sure there's a way that you can maneuver, the way he's maneuvering, and not, have the young lady put him on blast like that. Because it seemed like she was also trying to, get some notoriety off of it.
You know what's the crazy thing? Like, it's crazy that, he didn't have an NDA with these girls, You know what I mean? Like, he didn't have an NDA. Like, if you don't know what an NDA is, it's a non-disclosure agreement. Like, if you're dealing with somebody, you know what I mean? That means that you can, if they know your business, you know their business. But if you're on a certain level, you know what I mean, which Zion is, like, bro, you are the bag, so you got to protect yourself, right?
He should have spoke to Tiger Woods.
Should have.
Tiger Woods, he failed publicly his marriage, and that won't happen to him again.
Right.
You know what I mean? The last girlfriend he broke up with, he had her sign an NDA. What did he do? He brought her to the airport. He told her we were going on a vacation, and then he told her that we're breaking up because he knew that she wouldn't leave the house.
Tiger Woods did that?
Yeah.
I didn't even know that.
So, I mean, but this is just, these wealthy men, they have to protect themselves.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So she can't, she can't go write a book, whether it's true or false, and tell his business. But yeah, so he definitely needs an OG around him to put him up on the game.
That is true,
You know,
bro.
so-
I don't know who is around him. You know what I mean? Is his dad in his life or anything, or is his, you know what I mean? Like, this is the thing about that. Even with the young fellow, what's his name again from Memphis? He was
Ja Morant.
Yeah, bro. It's like, yo, his dad. I think his dad is around, but his dad don't seem like his dad seems like one of the dads that's like trying to be like down or trying to be cool. You know what I mean? With his son.
Right. Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like a young dad. You know what I mean? Which is, don't get me wrong. Like, I feel like it's good. You know what I mean? To have that relationship with your son, like where he can talk about everything, but then also it's like, yo, like you gotta have that. Yo, I don't know about if it's just me, but I have a fear of my father, and it's a healthy fear. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yo,
Right,
like I
exactly.
can't just maneuver around, just, you know what I mean? Like I can, you know what I'm saying? And my dad is super cool, super, you know what I mean? But still, at the end of the day, it's like there's certain ways you move when your dad is around, you know what I mean? And you know your dad is like an authoritative figure, you know what I'm saying? And his dad, I don't know, maybe I could be wrong, but his dad doesn't seem like, you know what I mean? Like he's on it like that.
He's you know, and this is obviously just from the outside, but it looks like Ja's dad is you know, one of his boys.
Yeah.
And you know, and Ja's making all this money, so you know, at 22 years old, he's making all the decisions.
Right.
And you know, it's like, why am I going to listen to my father when I pay his rent, when I pay for his car note, you know? So that you know, money's a power relationship, you know, and it seems like he hasn't developed that respect enough to say, I don't care how much money you make, you know, you're gonna listen to me when, you know, and shut all that the foolishness down, like, you know, because he's, you know, it seems like he's spiraling out of control. It actually seems like it's almost a cry for help.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if you study psychology a little bit, you know, he doesn't know how to say, hey, I need help. I'm spiraling out. I have all these people around me who are enabling me, but I need help. You know,
That's true, bro. I didn't even think about it like that.
You know what I mean? So him holding up the gun and just being real game goofy, you know, is in my opinion, he's asking for help. He doesn't have any structure outside of basketball.
Yeah.
You know, we tend to look at, you know, because you got to be super disciplined to play basketball.
Yeah.
It doesn't always carry over into your personal life. You know,
True.
so yeah.
You know, it's so crazy too, bro. It's just like that's a good point, dog. Because a lot of times, athletes, there's so much that's given to us, you know what I mean, or so much that's given to them, you know what I mean, and they don't know how to. Some of these guys it's just, I don't know, maybe it's just a young generation, you know what I'm saying? It's a young generation thing. It's like, yo, even when how dudes be coming to, not all players, right? But I be looking at, it's weird. I'm watching the game. I don't really watch that much NBA games, but I always watch, you know, how players dress, right? And I'll be like, bro, like, you're in the NBA, bro. You know what I'm saying? Some of these guys is wearing hoodies. Some of these guys is just looking like bum-bums, bro. You know what I'm saying? And these guys is millionaires, you know what I mean? But also I'm thinking like, yo, is that just the culture of today? Or is that just the fact that, like, you know, like these guys doesn't, you know what I mean? They're not, it's not like a thing to represent yourself in a way of like a young, wealthy millionaire. You know what I mean? You just look like a regular, you know.
Yeah, I mean, so they, you know, you know, when Allen Iverson was wearing throwback jerseys and
Right.
big baggy jeans, you know, for guys that are, you know, 35, 40 plus, that's how we dressed.
That is true.
You know, in the early 90s or whatever. You know, they called him a thug, but you know, when you have certain NBA players, you know, wearing some of the stuff, you know, which in my opinion looks very effeminate.
Yeah, bro.
You know, that's okay. You know, there's no call for a dress code for that stuff, but that's, you know, that stuff's okay. But you know, if I'm wearing a gold chain, I don't wear jewelry, but you know, to each his own. Whoever, you know, if that's how you do it, you know, this is, you know, it's, you know, hip hop in the 90s was, you know, say what you want, is very masculine.
Right.
You know what I mean? And you know,
Hip hop now. it's a different vibe, bro.
It's a lot different.
It's a lot different now, bro. It's
Yeah.
just like there's a lot of, there's a lot of, I don't know, the way guys dress. You know what I mean? Like it's very feminine. You know what I'm saying?
What's his name? West Side Gun
Yeah,
from Griselda.
yeah,
Now he I follow him on Instagram, or his pictures came up on my feed, and he's at an NBA game and he has a, the carryover. It looks like a purse, and I don't know what to make of it. It's not my thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I'm arguing with my students.
yeah.
It's like, hey, what do you think about West Side Gun? He's like, that bag. He's like, yo, that bag is fire. I'm like, that bag is a purse.
Right.
So, I'm not co-signing it.
Yeah.
I know all of the younger generation doesn't co-sign of it.
So how does it go? Is it a strap that goes over you, or?
It's looks like a purse. That's the only way to describe it. But I know the younger generation, everybody in the younger generation isn't co-signing it, but some of them are. You know what I mean? And where does this stop?
Yo, let me ask you this, right? Do you think you think there's a thing called toxic masculinity?
Toxic masculinity?
Yeah, because I don't think there's anything called toxic masculinity. I think it's just masculinity is masculinity. You know what I mean? But I don't know if there's like, it's a toxic masculinity.
If somebody's masculine, they're standing on their square. They're standing up for what they believe in.
Mm-hmm.
They're protecting those around you. Protecting those around them. I don't know how that's all of a sudden becomes toxic.
Right.
That one. No. So to answer your question, no.
Yeah.
Toxic. I don't believe that's a thing. Because if a man is truly masculine, first of all, he doesn't need to beat his chest.
Right.
He can walk into a room and not say a word, and his masculineness. Everybody can see it.
They already know it.
You already know it. You don't have to announce it. You don't have to, just the whole, I'm a grown man. You don't have to say that. It's something that's, without saying. And it's not toxic, if a man is a man, So no.
I agree, bro. Let's get back, cause there's let's get back to his family. You know what I mean? Because family's real big, yo.
Yeah.
And how do you balance time? Time for young B, time for your wife. How do you balance that time? And then also time for yourself, bro. How do you balance that as a dad? As a father. How do you balance that?
Well, you definitely have to take time for yourself. Just to still do the things, that you normally do. Like usually like Sunday is, my day where I'll go to the gym and play basketball and watch the other guys play in the Sunday league, and that's kind of like for me. So like don't touch my day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's tough because I get home from work and my son he's tuned up. He's ready to
he's
bounce off the
right
way.
now.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, let's go to the park. Let's go run around. And I'm just like, I need 45 minutes to lay my head down real quick. You know what I mean? I need to to recharge before I can even engage him, because he's ready to go.
Yo.
He's ready to go. Yeah.
That's crazy. Yo, I was watching this interview with Tupac's father recently, right? And this kind of gave me the thought to just talk about this, right? So recently on this interview with Tupac's dad, so Tupac's dad didn't really see Tupac for like 15 years, right? Did you hear about this story?
No.
Yo, so Tupac's dad, he was talking, his name is Billy Garland, right?
Okay.
And he was a ex-Black Panther, right? Along with his mom as well too, right? So whatever, I think they separated. And when they was young, Tupac used to come around, blah, blah, blah. But for whatever reason, his mom was moving around. I think she moved to Baltimore, moved to a couple of different spots. So, it's not like how it is today where you can, with the phones around. Yeah. So he lost connection, right? He lost connection for like 15 years, bro, right? And they were saying in the interview, they said that Tupac's mom lied and said that his father had died, bro. So he didn't see his son for like 15 years. And guess when he saw his son? He said one of his partners was like, yo, there's this, on this poster, right? There's this kid his name is Tupac Shakur. You know what I mean? And I think that's when Juice was coming out. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yep. So he's like, yo, his dad saw the poster, actually went to the movie theater, and he's like, yo, I started crying, bro. Because here I am, my son, and he's, my son Tupac is this, I haven't seen him in like 15 years, and this is, wow, he's on the big screen. You know what I'm saying? Which is like, wow, okay, he's okay, he's doing his thing. You know what I mean? And basically his moms try to keep him away from Tupac. You know what I mean? His mom tried to keep him away from Tupac. And I always felt like, Tupac was a great rapper, don't get me wrong, not really one of my favorite rappers, but I always felt like, yo, something was off about Tupac. You know what I mean? When you look back at it from just objectively, you're not judging anybody, but you look at it, something was off about him. Do you think Pac would have been a different individual if his dad was around?
Absolutely. Dads, mother. First of all, mothers are important, but dads are just as important. Yeah. Societies, a lot of things that go wrong in society are because the child, doesn't get the influence of both parents. It's too lopsided. Yeah. The mother is trying to be the mother and the father, which is impossible. Just like the father couldn't be the father and the mother. Right. You need both, and I'm of the opinion that your father gives you your confidence. Your father will get you to act irrational. Will get you to act rational, right, rather than emotional. Yeah. You know what I mean? And a lot of times, men say, "Well, I'm not emotional." Well, are you quick to? If a man who's quick to anger is emotional.
That's true, bro.
We don't typically look at it like that. Yeah. Like, a man who's quick to anger is emotional, and that that sort of that's usually a trait given by the mother. The father, can show you the other side. The father can show you that you don't have to get mad and wild out every time something doesn't go your way. Yeah. Right. I had a conversation with one of my students the other day. A young lady, her, right? And she couldn't fathom the idea of breaking up with somebody and not trying to get that person back.
What do you mean? Like her breaking up with somebody?
So she couldn't fathom the idea of breaking up with somebody. Yeah. And just letting that person, you take your space. I'm gonna go do me. You go do you. Yeah. Yeah. She was of the mindset where, she was like, I'm gonna get this person back.
Who's doing the breaking up though? Is she doing the breaking up, or is he doing the breaking up?
So it was more so along the lines of, you made me feel this way. So I'm going to do everything in my power to make you feel how you made me feel. Yeah. Right? And so, they kids are funny. They made it personal. So what would you do if, this happened to you? And I'm just like, okay, all right, we'll use me as an example. So I was like, what would you do if your wife stepped out on you? Yeah. Right? Yeah. Okay. The reaction isn't always like, I'm throwing things, I'm getting violent, right? Yeah, yeah. Because you have to think about other things in the equation, right? That's true. So she was like, yeah, you should kick her out. if she were to do that to you, kick her out the house. And I said, hold on. You know, so I'm going to kick my wife out because she messed up, right? But I'm also punishing my son.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He don't got nothing to do with this. He loves his mother. She made a mistake somewhere else.
Yeah.
So I got to punish my son.
Yeah.
Not this, and I don't know what I would do personally do in that situation.
Yeah.
But it's something to think about. You know what I mean? Like, so if you really about keeping family together, right? You know, you got to think about that.
That's true, bro.
You know, so some people, you know, they wanna make you feel that pain too, and you know, at the detriment of the child. So, yeah, I mean, it happens all the time. But you know, just to bring it back, you know, the masculine energy. You know, just talking about Tupac. Tupac was a live wire, right?
Yeah.
And maybe, and you know, this is all speculation, right? This is a what if, right? Maybe his dad would have said, "Hey, I like the way you're moving," because Tupac had a lot of good things to say.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
His dad might have pulled him aside and say, "Hey, you know, don't do it like this. Do it like this."
Yo, and that's crazy too, because on the interview, he said, you know how like Pac was saying that like, yo, he had messed with Biggie's wife or something like that, right? And then his dad was like, yo, why would you even do something like that? Even if that was true, like you don't say nothing like that. You over here, you got fame, you got notoriety, you got all these different things that's happening to you. You're talking a good game where it is that you're going, and then you make some nonsense like that. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's where the imbalance ended up happening. You know what I mean? Because Tupac's pops look like a real one, yo. You know what I mean? You can see like he's a man's man. You know what I mean? And I was like, damn, yo, like that made perfect sense.
It's very possible that Tupac being in his life could have changed
his life.
Could have saved his life. Could have changed his trajectory. You know, I work with a lot of young men who are, you know, raised by single moms. You know, and I was raised by a single mom, but I had, you know, my father, you know, was very impactful in my life. You know, but a lot of times, you know, boys raised by single moms, they take on the emotionalism of their mother.
That's true, bro.
And you know, being emotional isn't crying all the time, but you know, there's like, okay, I'm gonna be on the block, I'm gonna be on the corner, looking for masculine energy.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna be in these streets. You know, so sometimes that's the way it manifests.
Yeah.
You know, this, you know, which is actually effeminate behavior, like this quick to anger, you know, things like that. You know, I think the father, you know, can you know, level that out a little bit, right?
Yeah. Nah, I agree, bro. Right now, it's trivia time, folks.
Uh-oh.
Let's see if my man B could answer some of these trivia questions. All right. Ooh. What is one of the only black foods could slaves eat in slavery?
So is it more than one answer?
No, just give me one.
Okay. More than, so
okay, what is one of the only black foods could slaves eat in slavery? I mean, could slaves eat during slavery?
Well, I'm a history teacher too. So slaves were fed all the worst parts of the pig.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, and black people took the worst parts of the pig and made it into, you know, a lot of what we call soul food. You know, you took a pig foot, you put it in the greens to flavor, right? So yeah. So the worst parts of the pig feet, pig intestines, chitterlings.
Chitlins, that's what it is.
Chitlins.
It's chitlins. It's chitlins.
You know, you turn the worst parts of the pigs into a delicacy. Not for me, but
not for me too. I tasted it, but it's not for me.
I never. So, but here's the thing. You know, I've never eaten pork, but you know, I heard this from an OG. Like, you know, we might, you know, not eat pork now, but our ancestors who had to eat the pork, you know, for us to even be here today. That's true. Know, so shout out to them for eating those pig intestines. But
All right. What are 6 states that make up New England?
6 states that make up New England:
Yeah.
Massachusetts, Maine,
Yep.
New Hampshire,
New Hampshire,
Vermont,
Vermont.
Connecticut, Rhode Island.
Ooh. Can't trick B off his square, yo. You know, he's on it. All right, do you what was something else that I wanted to ask, yo? There was a couple of other things as well too that I wanted to go into. All right. So you talk about, let's get back towards this Pac joint, right? Because one of his biggest songs was Dear Mama, right? And when during the interview, his dad was like, yo, like when his son called him a coward, that hurt him, yo. You know what I'm saying? And it was all lies. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, yo, they told you that I was dead and I was been looking for you for like 15 years. You know what I'm saying? And that song, which is Pac's like biggest song, Dear Mama, right?
Yeah.
Like that's his biggest hits. And he said there's certain rhymes in there. And sometimes even when you go back to the lyrics of Dear Mama, it seems like a young kid just asking for help, screaming for help. You know what I mean? And like, you know, it seems like, yo, because I think he said, even though you was a crack fiend, mama, you always was a black queen, mama. You know, it's like somebody who's knows like, yo, okay, my mom's is not perfect. You know what I mean? She's actually was a crack fiend, but in my eyes, she's a black queen. And I was thinking like, damn, bro, like in today's society, it's almost like, and this is because, and I like right now, I think like I'm on my healing journey, but also I'm looking to also, you know, I hold myself responsible, but also who held Miss Afeni Shakur responsible for that, bro? Like that's messed up. You know what I'm saying? To keep a young man like that away from his dad and make him lies. And the biggest song, and he thinks in his eyes, his dad is a coward. You know what I'm saying? His dad is a coward. Like, yo, if you seen the interview, bro, like, you're like, damn, like that.
So what do they say? Hell hath no fury like a woman scorned.
Damn, that's true.
Right? So, you know, can't be out here breaking these women's hearts.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But that's kind of it's hard to recover, you know, the lost time. You know, you're just speaking about Tupac that he didn't have with his son, and you know, and we nobody was there, but we don't know what Tupac's, you know, mom was telling him about his father.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think that's very important. Like, you know, it's, you know, it doesn't always work out between, you know,
parents,
mom and dad, right?
Yeah.
But it's very important that you don't put the other one down in front of, you know, like, hey, your mom is this, or your dad is this, right? Because more than likely they love both of you guys. You know what I mean? And and now you're trying to, you know,
make them pick a side.
You're trying to make them pick a side, which is not healthy for them, right? Because, you know, the child loves the mother unconditionally.
Yeah.
You know, the child loves the father unconditionally if they're allowed to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Without any persuasion. But, you know, it's tough. It's tough.
That's crazy, bro, because I think I'm going through that right now, if I'm being honest. That's why I like this. This subject's a little bit touchy for me, bro, because it's like I'm actually going through it. You know what I mean? Like I'm trying to like, but it's family. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, how do I swag this where we get everybody going on one accord, moving on one accord? You know what I'm saying? And that's where you gotta ask God for wisdom, bro. You know what I mean? To be able to do that. You know, because it's a very sticky situation. And then also, like, you gotta have, you know, we living in 2023. You know what I'm saying? Like, shoot, I like dads. Yo, honestly, if you can work it out with the mother of your children, do that without getting in the courts. But if you have to go to the courts, I think you have to do what you got to do. In my experience, right? And it's crazy too, bro. Like yo, going in court, right? The energy when you walk into the court is so weird, bro. It's like, yo, it's a weird energy, bro. It's just like you just sitting there, you just like, damn, this is crazy. You know what I mean? Like, and I wish no brothers go through that, man. But you know, a lot of times, man, you see this. It's like, yo, you gotta go through that, man. It's if you want to be in your child's life until you and the mother can have a certain, you know, conversation. You know what I mean? Can have those unhealthy or those healthy conversations. You know what I'm saying? But that's a journey within itself. You know what I mean? Because it's like she's got to heal. You're healing. You know what I mean? The situation, the time, all these things. Because at the end of the day, it's like, yo, what's best for the family? You know what I mean? What's best for the family, bro? So
that's the goal.
You know, like, and yo, I don't know, man. You know what I mean? It's not an easy thing, bro. It's not an easy thing. But if you want to be in your child's life, you know what I mean? You got to go through it.
Yeah, I mean, nobody's situation is perfect.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you know, I you know, we play basketball. You know, and you know, just to make that analogy, consistency, right?
Yeah.
That's all you can do. All you can do is be consistent. You know, try not to take it personal when things aren't going, you know, the way that you know you think they should.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And yeah, it's definitely difficult. You know, not seeing, you know, being around your children and, you know. But, you know, I look at my father. My father, you know, he's working in Florida.
Yeah.
Up here, you know, working up here, moving down to Florida, you know. So he moved around. So I look at him and, you know, what I learned from him is one of the biggest things is you keep the peace.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? By all means, you keep the peace. And, you know, that might mean taking some L's in arguments.
That's
you know
true.
what I mean?
Yeah.
And you know, just so it's hard not to take it personal sometimes, especially when you have a history with a person. It's hard to you know just shake it off and not get a slick comment back, right?
Yeah.
But you always got to keep the objective in mind. Is you have to know your objective.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So no matter what's said, you know, they're gonna say what they're gonna say, but you just gotta stay on your square and you know, and know what you're there for.
That's
you know,
true, bro.
You know, which is family.
Yeah.
You know?
Yo, what you think about? Not that you do this, but what you think about like, you know, like having like multiple wives, yo, like
multiple wives.
Yeah, because like okay, so here's the thing about that, right? Like people look at it as like, okay, you get to, you know, like the sexual part of it, right? But then also you gotta think about like the emotional part.
Twice the emotions.
Twice the emotions, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Twice the emotions. And yo, I heard this. There was this story. There was this quote that I heard. I forgot who said this. Right? He said, "There's man, there's wives, and then there's these hoes." Right? You know what I'm saying? And if you go back, right? You go back into the old days. Yo, King Solomon. I'm pretty sure they had wives. But then they also had concubines as well too. You know what I mean? They also had concubines. And just wanted to get your opinion on that, bro.
Well, it all works out if the goal is family, right?
Yeah.
You know, in Islam they say you can have up to 4 wives, but if you knew best, you'd only have one.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? In a lot of African traditions, where they have polygamy, it's usually the first wife who picks the next sister wife. So it's not you know, because if you pick, you're gonna pick based off of her beauty, you know, and your first wife is going to be, you know, the leader of the other wives that she brings in, you know, and then the other thing is obviously you got to be able to take care of all of them, right? but if first wife don't accept the other wives, it ain't gonna work.
It ain't gonna. Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. So that's. But yeah, if you knew best, you just have one.
Just
you
one,
know?
yo. Just one. How's marriage like, bro, for you? Like for me, bro, I think like yo, you're somebody who's done it the right way. You know what I mean? Like the right way. You got married, which is a great thing, bro. You know what I mean? Like you it's like yo, it's like your foundation is solid. You know what I'm saying? Like, how'd you know when you seen your wife, like, yo, all right, it's gonna be wifey. You know what I'm saying?
Well, we wanted the same thing. We were both up front with it. You know,
Yeah.
just like, hey, this is what it is. I'm trying to get married. You know, not those, but you know, just essentially like, you know, not with the games. Like, what's up? What you trying to do? Where's this going? And we were both headed in that direction. But with that being said, you know, doing everything the right way, and you know, with even with, you know, that being said, you know, there's always struggles within relationships that are, you know, that look successful, you know, that are successful, you know, but
the reason why I said that is because, like, you know, you get to see the development of your son. You know what I mean? You get to see his development. You get to bring him to school, or after school he gets to vibe with you, feel your energy. You know what I'm saying? Also feel his mom's energy as well too. You know what I mean? Because he needs both. He needs the masculine and he needs the feminine as well too.
Absolutely.
And when it's both working together in harmony, bro, like you get a well balanced kid. You know what I'm saying? And young B seems like he's very, you know, he's pretty balanced. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, you know, I mean, you know, considering the situation that you're in, all you can do is your best.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like, I'll say that for myself. Like, you know, things aren't always, you know, the way I want them to be.
Yeah.
You know, with things going on, but all you can do is your best.
Yo, when do you think a man is ready for marriage, bro? In your opinion?
When is a man ready for marriage?
Yeah. When do you think? When you done got all the extra sauce off him, you know?
Yeah.
When do you think he's ready for marriage, bro?
So a lot of brothers don't, you know, it's hard to have one foot in the streets and one foot, you know, being a husband. You know, you have to, you know, so it's you know, married men look at single guys, you know, with a sense of nostalgia. Like, you know, married men like to hear all the you know, the crazy stories that, you know, you may or may not have did back in the day, but you don't do anymore because you get to, you know, not do it, but you get to, you know, you get to relive it through through hearing the story.
Yeah.
And then, you know, men who aren't married, they look at marriage, you know, and you know, it's a sense of, you know, it's a sense of stability, right? So that's, you know, that's where I'm coming from. You know, it's you know, people say it's boring. Yeah, but it's predictable, and you know, when you get older, it actually becomes more beneficial, you know, being, you know, with someone. Married people, or people who, men and women who live together actually live longer than a man or a woman who lives on their own.
Really?
Yeah. So you know, as a young man, you know what I mean. It's like, why would I want to be with one woman when I could, you know, I got a good job, I could be out there. But it's almost like an investment.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
True.
Like, you know, you're paying for it now for something that you're really gonna benefit for when you're in your 60s, 70s, you know, and so on. So, marriage is an investment.
I agree 110%, man. Like, damn, that was deep, brother. I wasn't thinking about that. You know what I mean? And sometimes you may pull out of your investment a little bit early, you know, or shoot, you know, sometimes you gotta be like, all right, take the L.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Sometimes the stock market crashes. And you lose everything. That's what it is. You know?
Yo, it seems like, okay, right? There's this I feel like right now there's like this big gender war, you know what I mean, between males and females, you know what I mean? And it's like, especially, I don't know, if maybe it's just in the black community, you know what I'm saying? Like, there seems to be like, oh, women are like this, blah, 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 blah. Oh, men are like this, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, yo, like, because we need each other. You know what I'm saying? We need each other. How do we get along? You know what I mean? How do we like heal? You know what I'm saying? Like, what's your thoughts on that?
I think it's very hard with, you know, like if you know, if a woman, you know, if a woman is, you know, makes, you know, is coming with financial, you know, backing, if she's, you know, financially set, and a man isn't, I don't think that's gonna work, because now she has sexual power, she has financial power, and it's almost like, yo, what are you here for? You know what I mean? So,
so you think? So hold on. So,
I think.
So you think a woman, right? You think a woman should? You think a man should make more money, or do you think like it's better that a woman should make more money?
I think well,
or
I think it's well. Yeah. So in every situation is different, but I think the fact that a lot of, especially black women, out earn black men
a lot.
Here's a statistic for you.
Yeah.
Black women are the only women who out earn their men.
Yeah.
Asian men out earn Asian women. Latino men out earn Latino women. White men out earn white women. Black women out earn black men.
You think that's just...
It's the only demographic group where you have women out earning their men, you know, in racial.
Do you think that's on purpose?
To a degree, yeah. It's somewhat designed. Like, you know, you have the prison industrial complex. You know, a man who can't make any money is emasculated.
That's true, bro.
You know what I mean? Like, you know, and a lot of brothers hit the streets because, you know, I'm not about to be out here broke. So I'm gonna hit the streets. I'm gonna do what I gotta do to feed my family. I might end up in jail, but at least I can, you know, go to jail, you know, saying that I was trying to feed my family. You know, that happened to a whole generation of people.
Yeah.
Whole generation of brothers, and the sisters, they had to take on that dual role.
Yeah.
Now, you know, so they're the earners, and a lot of times what I feel like happens is, you know, with black women, they're trying to do two roles, and you know, when they meet a man, they don't know how to turn that off.
Right.
You know, that sort of masculine energy, they don't know how to turn that off. And you know, and on the brother side, like, you know, he has to be on his square too. You know what I mean? But you know, I think that's a lot of the conflict where you have brothers dealing with, you know, sisters who don't know how to turn off that masculine energy, because that's not going to go. A woman has to be soft, you know, a man has to be hard, and that's where you get that balance.
Pause.
You know?
Pause.
Pause. Yo, all right, yo.
It is what it is. Shout out to it is what it is.
Yo,
so, you know what's so crazy, right? Yo, there was this girl that, yo, we was having conversations, right? And she said, oh, I'm an alpha female. You know what I'm saying? I'm one of the alpha females. And in my mind, I'm like, what the hell is an alpha female? You know what I mean? Because if a female is out, because I think her, yo, it wasn't like an argument, but we got into like a little bit of debate about it. I was just like, yo, okay. Your superpower is femininity. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Not like masculinity, not alphaism. So if you're in your alpha, you should be in your femininity. You know what I'm saying? Like,
you're gonna scare away all the men.
Exactly, bro. You know what I'm saying? And she had like, yo, very nice looking girl, but you could see she had like a very masculine persona. To me, it was a front. You know what I mean? I could see right through that. You know what I mean? I saw right through it. But I was just like, damn, like, is that what women think that alpha is? Like, oh, I'm I'm the head chick in charge, or I'm like the, you know what I mean? Where it's like the alpha female is the most feminine in the room. You know what I'm saying? And if you really go into it like that, you know what I'm saying? Like it's the one that's the most feminine.
Yeah, absolutely. Independent women typically end up independent by themselves.
Yeah.
Because a lot of men aren't willing to, like that. Like I said, women have to understand they have to know how to turn that off when they have a man who is willing to fill that role.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's it's all like working together in sync.
All right, this is going to be my my final question, and then we're gonna wrap it up, man. Do you think, I was watching this video on it was like an older video, and it was this African American guy, and it was talking about a conspiracy to destroy black boys, right? I don't know. Have you ever seen that video? It's like on. It was on YouTube, but basically, you take the father out the home, and basically, you cut the head off, and then now, the boy's kind of around. Now, do you think there's like a conspiracy, to almost like destroy black boys, yo? You know what I mean? Because like, not to mention, because as you have children, and you watching like some of the stuff, like the cartoons, like there's certain things that you're like, yo, what? This shouldn't even be in a cartoon, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is kind of weird. You know what I mean? Like, also, even in like some of the certain schools, you know what I'm saying? They might be like extra stuff, like that's being just promoted. Not saying that, but it's just like, yo, these are kids. You know what I mean? Why they gotta be into stuff like that? You know what I mean? Just want to know what's your thoughts on that, bro?
So you mean like media?
Media.
So to me, a lot of that stuff, you're sexualizing children, like
Right.
regardless of your thoughts on the matter. I don't think most people will agree that you shouldn't sexualize children.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So when they sneak this stuff into cartoons and things like that,
Weird, super weird. Bro.
Yeah, I don't have my son doesn't. What my son watches is what I put on YouTube and things like that. So absolutely there's agenda at play. I even saw something where one of the higher ups at Disney, one of the people who puts on programming for children and things like that, they were like, yeah, we've been pushing this stuff. So absolutely there's an agenda to it, and you know how big Disney is.
Yeah. So B, thank you so much for pulling up, man. I think this was a great Father's Day conversation. Folks, make sure you show us some love, man. Follow us on Instagram, follow us on all our social media. And I like to leave you with a quote, all right? Rules for 2023 for all those in my life. Make sure you put me on game, give me connections, formulas, strategies, and deals. Speak my names in rooms of opportunity. Be intentional with helping me build. Cut me in on equity. Look out for me, protect me, and have my best interest at heart. Above all, help me stay on the right path. Pray for me and let nobody play with my name. I ask this of everyone in my life, and I will personally work to do the same. 2023, I can't afford anything else. No more watching me work. Help me succeed. And that is from the legendary 19 Keys. And I'm your main man, James Levesque. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Thank you for vibing. Talk to him.
Talk to him.
Yo, this was, appreciate you, bro.